Hello, I'm Abhijith, and my co-authors are Phil and Apurva, and I'm going to present our paper on assist is just as important as the goal, image resurfacing to aid models' robust prediction. So, what are the models robust against? So, we want our model to be robust against adversaries. So, these are either digital adversaries like norm-based attack, or we have physical adversaries. And in physical adversaries, we can have natural disturbances like snow, dust, blur, and we can have a synthetically optimized adversarial patch. And because adversarial patches are easy and more practical, it is what our scope of paper is. So, what is an adversarial patch? So, if you see here, we have a trained adversarial patch, and if we place it over an image, the CNN predicts it as a toaster. So this is why it shows that adversarial patch is able to fool CNN models. So the motivation of the paper is we know that CNNs are vulnerable against physical adversaries, and hence it is required that we have some defensive strategies to deploy CNNs in real life scenarios. But the most existing work consider only a single patch threat, and multiple patches provide more freedom to the attacker to design a stronger adversary. CNN models can be either trained to be robust or can be augmented with defensive strategies. But training a model to be robust is expensive, and model parameters are often inaccessible due to privacy concerns. And hence, we came up with utilizing a total variation loss. So, the total variation is a metric to determine the complexity of an image to its spatial variations in pixel values, and it is given by the formula as shown here. So, you basically calculate the difference in the pixel values in a neighborhood and calculate the score. So, the basic fundamental idea behind our paper is that the outliers in the TV loss across the image landscape will be removed to resurface the image. So in the location where the patch is present, there will be high variations, and hence the TV loss will be higher. And this is how the TVR, or total variation based image resurfacing, is going to work. The characteristics of TVR is that it's model agnostic, it's task agnostic, it can work with multiple patches. It doesn't matter what the location of the patch is. And also, it just does not defend, it also gives you the location of the patch. So, to give you a perspective of how the defense is working, I have shown the stages here. So, first, if we have an adversarial image, it is first located, the patch is first located using a total variation loss, as I showed, and then we create a mask out of it, and then with the help of the cropped image and the mask, we use an image inpainting technique to generate the image, which is then used to reconstruct the original image. So with these steps, we get an image, a reconstructed image, which is quite close to the original one. Let's look at the TVR framework. So first what we do is we convert the image channel wise and divide it into multiple blocks, and this number of blocks is predefined based on the your experience as well as the patch size that you know. Then we calculate the total variation loss over the whole image landscape. And to note that here each block means the neighborhood for which you have to calculate total variation score. And then you calculate the channel wise outlier, and based on the outlier you resurface the image, and then you get a cropped image which is then passed through a trained can, which is used to reconstruct the image, which is also called image in painting. So the performance so we test our TVR on ImageNet-Patch benchmark dataset because it will help us to validate our TVR. And also these patches are not trained by us, and we use the patches from the ImageNet-Patch benchmark dataset. So if you can see here, um, with TVR, we are able to achieve higher adversarial accuracy. That means we are able to get a better performance with the defensive property of TVR. And here in this experiment, we also consider a white box as well as black box testing or setting. And the top rows, which are highlighted in gray, are used with black box setting, and the bottom three are in a black box setting. To give you a perspective and the visualization around how TVR is working with single and multiple patch attacks, you can see here in case of single patch, we will have just one peak. If we have two patches, we will have two peaks. And if we have like multiple patches, we have that many number of peaks. So it doesn't matter the number of patches you have. As long as you get the variations in the pixel values, the TV loss will be higher and it is going to get detected. And eventually, if you see, the reconstructed TV landscape is very similar to the original one. We also conducted some ablation study to see how does the block size uh, affects the accuracy, because you have to divide your images into multiple blocks, which are the neighborhoods for calculating TV scope. And you can see here for our experiment and the given patch sizes in the benchmark dataset, a 28 cross 28 patch works well, because if a patch is too smaller, it can take a lot of noise into it, which might affect the whole analysis. And if it's too big, then the detection of outliers become difficult. And hence, a right block size depends on your application and your predefined patch size. Then we also conduct an analysis to see how image in painting affects your accuracy. And we see that if we use a TVR without image in painting, then the accuracy is slightly lower. So the quality of image in painting or image reconstruction that you have, it directly affects the improvement in the accuracy that you get. And hence, in future, if with better image in painting techniques, we might be able to get even better performance with this framework. We also tested TVR in physical environment. As you can see here, it's a joystick and we placed different patches of different target classes. And you see that the whole prediction class has changed, because the joystick is predicted as cell phone, cornet, guitar, sock, depending on the target class. But after applying the TVR, you see that the whole prediction is again getting back to joystick or the sandal, which is the original class. And also you can note here that we don't have to, I would say, cover the whole patch to get back the original prediction. Even if we are able to mask the relevant pixels, we are able to get correct prediction. And this is what TVR does. To conclude, TVR is a model and task agnostic technique that depends only on the scene. TVR can cleanse single or multiple patches in a single image scan, and we also validated TVR in both digital and physical environment. So a new defense proposal always helps a malicious attacker to upgrade the attack's design to overcome the defense. But TVR is still a first step towards stealing arbitrary multiple localized perturbations in the scene. A future scope can be evaluation in adaptive attack setting scenario, simulating a malicious attacker, and also evaluation of TVR against adversarial patches that are trained using diverse methodologies. Thank you.